Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Chef Steph on Fire. Listen, I've been getting a lot of questions on how to make macaroni and cheese. Now, going back to childhood, as far back as I can remember, macaroni and cheese has always been one of my favorite things to eat. So learning how to make it the right way has transitioned my taste buds into a whole different dynamics. Boxed mac and cheese can no longer do it for my taste buds. Maybe if I want to have a throwback day to have that old Kraft or Velveeta, great. It's probably not going to happen anytime soon because I know that there's a better taste. It's like if you have a taste bud that's here, or if you have a appetite that's here and you have availability to fill your appetite here, why are you going to eat here? So it's kind of weird for me to have boxed mac and cheese. So I like to make it from scratch. That way there's no artificial ingredients. There's none of that anticoagulant, any of that weird stuff that they have in the box stuff. So I totally stay away from it. So today I'm going to show you again. I've done this in the past and I will continue to do it. So if you guys have any questions or anything that you would like me to demonstrate for you, definitely send me a message or comment below or anything like that, and I'll be more than happy to take that all into consideration and set up a day where I can answer all your questions by way of demonstration on how to prepare that particular meal that you may be requesting. All right, so today we're going to start with a basic sauce, which is one of the 5 mother sauces of French culinary world. It's called a bechamel sauce, all right? And what we're going to do, we're going to start with a medium warm pot, all right? And we're going to use about 50 grams of butter. All right, we're going to get that butter going in there. And this is going to happen really fast. It's going to happen very quickly. Let me turn this down a little bit because I definitely don't want to brown that too much. Big tip, always use a wooden spoon. Wooden spoon helps prevent any contaminants being in your food with metal to metal contact. So you want to have a wooden spoon. So now that we have the butter all bubbled up like that and everything, all right, we're going to use about matching. We'll use about 50 grams of butter, 50 grams of flour, excuse me. And we're going to add that slowly to the mixture, okay? I don't have my assistant today. He's out there playing basketball. All right, so when it starts to froth up like that, that's what you want. And you just want to add a little bit of flour at a time. All right, and then this is going to start to thicken up. All right, and we're going to put it to the side a little bit. Right over here, I already have some milk warming up. And everything from this point, we don't want to add anything cold to this hot mixture, because then at that point, it's going to lump up and it's going to give us an inconsistent texture, and we want consistency and we want smooth. All right, so we're still adding a little bit more flour at a time. And folks, if you don't have a wooden spoon in your arsenal in your kitchen, shame on you. You should have one of these bad boys. They are priceless and they make cooking that much more fun. Okay, all right, as you can see, the sauce is smoothing out. Every time it starts off with a few little lumps, it starts to smooth out with the movement. Moving forward with this sauce, we have to continue to move it around. You don't want to have this sit at all cooking at one temperature, because then you'll burn it, or you start to cook the roux and it'll start to turn brown. And if you want brown mac and cheese, I mean, by all means, do what you got to do. So today it's actually more of a, I wasn't really planning on making mac and cheese today. And I'm definitely not making mac and cheese because I made bow ties. So with the bow ties, we are going to have the same flavor, just a different shape of pasta, and that's all that is. Okay, so this is starting to boil up, all right? And we're gonna get this to a point where it's just going to get a little frothy, but then we're also gonna cook it until it turns into a little bit more of a dough ball. All right, then we're gonna put it to the side and let it rest a few moments. And when it's resting, we'll come back and we'll start to add the milk to it. All right, as you see, it's starting to thicken up really nice. and that's what it's going to do. All right, so here's your ratio. You're gonna use about 50 grams of flour, 50 grams of butter, and then basically about a quart of milk, roughly, okay? And you warm that milk up, okay? You can use whatever combination of milk that you like. Let's see, this is starting to form up, and that's what we're looking for. And that's going to be our roux. All right, so this roux right here, I'll cut this off, because this is going to solidify just enough here. This roux is gonna make our cream milk that's warming up there. It's going to give it a thick consistency, and it's going to smooth it out. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So that you have the smoothest mac and cheese possible. Because that's what I like. I like smooth, I like texture. Oh gosh, what I'm doing today. I just got a text. What am I doing? So right now I have that cooking in there. That's beef short ribs. Ooh. Yep, short ribs and mac go well together. I love short ribs and some cheese, but I'm gonna do it just a little bit different. All right, we're gonna add a little bit of okay. All right, we're almost here. We're gonna add a little bit of our own fusion to it, give it a little bit more flavor. With that also, okay, we're gonna use roughly about, let me think, roughly about 8 to 10 ounces of cheese. And cheese is one of those things, you know, whatever you like. You know, whatever cheese you want to use. That's the best part about mac and cheese. You can use whatever cheese that you like. Which makes it absolutely priceless. Okay, so I have a particular texture that I look for when I'm making my roux. So basics, you can always use a 50-50 ratio, okay? For me, I like to get it a little bit more thicker because this is going to be a soft baked mac and cheese. So I'm going to add just a little bit more flour, roughly about 2 more grams of flour. And that's going to give me a more of a cookie type dough. Okay, that's what I like. Okay, and now it's forming to what I want. All right, so I can basically make this roux without any measurements because I know the texture that I'm looking for. So with that, I know with the 50-50 ratio, it's not exactly where the texture that I'm looking for, and now it's there. So now that I get that, like I said, that cookie dough type texture, I'm good to go. All right, so we're just gonna pull this to the side, all right, because this is going to continue to cook when we take it out. So I just want this to sit a little bit, and then we're going to add in the milk to it. Just let it sit for about a minute or two. No, not too long. All right. Oh, and there he is. What?
Is the mop going out too?
What you mean is the mop going out? Why would we throw out the... This guy's asked me, do we throw out the mop? Why would we throw out the mop? Does the mop look like something that needs to go in the garbage? Does that mean it needs to go out in the garbage? What do you think? Use some common sense. Think about it. You got to me. Anywho. So, one of the best things about mac and cheese, like I was saying before, is that you can use any cheese that you like. There's a whole assortment of different cheeses that are on the market. And all you got to do is basically, you know, try out different cheeses. See what it is that you like. And just, you know, I call it Mio. Mio. What does that mean? M-I-Y-O. Make it your own. Okay. And that's Mio. Okay. And that's one of the things that I like and I love most about cooking is all it takes is the basics. You learn the basics, and from the basics, You make it your own every single time, all right? And that's what we want to do. So, all right, so now this is cooled a little bit, I'm going to get right into mixing this up. So I'm going to put you folks here right on the side. I kind of like moving around with my camera. It kind of makes it a little bit more personal to me. Just my own personal opinion, but okay. I mean, let me know. But I am working on some things to get some better angles and give you folks some better views. All right, so now we're going in with the roux. All right, the roux's in the pot. Also too, you don't want to cook the roux too much because you want the roux to maintain the same natural color of butter. And that's how you prevent your mac and cheese from turning into a brown gravy mac and cheese. Who wants that? Yuck. Not to say yuck like that. It probably does taste good, but who knows? All right. Wooden spoon. Okay, so now I have a little stable base. Let's start adding a little bit of milk, okay? Boom. Milk. Just a little bit. Nice sizzling. All right, this is gonna thicken up really thick, but we wanna keep it moving because we wanna keep it smooth, okay? And just watch how this all starts to form. All right, boom, more milk. All right, and like I said, you gotta keep it moving. All right, and then when we're done making this cheese sauce, you know, a little salt and pepper, always to your taste. I don't like it to be too salty. I like my salt to be just right. You know, so I do a little pinch at a time. Okay, you see how this is all starting to get really thick? And it almost doesn't want to move. It's like turning into like wet bread. That's great, that's what you want. Because as you add the milk and you keep stirring it out, it's only naturally going to get smoother. And then forget about it. It's going to be nice and hot when we add the cheese to it. All right. That looks like it's never going to form, right? But all you got to do is keep it moving. Okay. Here you can do this motion, which is a 360 and split. 360, split. 360, split. And that helps with your texture being perfect. Now we're starting to get that mashed potato look. Okay. Also what you want. So we're gonna add a little bit more milk. And again, 360 and split. 360 and split. Full circle, split down the middle. Full circle, split down the middle. Full circle, split down the middle. All right, and as you can see, it's still just starting to smooth out on its own. Just with this motion alone, and you see how everything is coming together. Now, when you just start stirring and stirring and stirring, you will never get the proper texture that we're looking for, okay? Now, boom, look at this here. This is already starting to make my mouth water. I wouldn't eat it just like this, but I think you know what I mean. All right, so again, take it nice and easy. 360, split down the middle. 360, split down the middle. All right, and at this point, you know, once the sauce is done, you can add garlic, you can add onions, you can add chives, you can add tarragon, you can add parsley, you can add oregano, you can add whatever it is that you like, whatever flavor, because cheese is just one of those things that goes with everything, okay? It always works, okay? And you see here, we're still smooth, smooth, smooth. So if this is smooth, imagine what the texture is going to be when you actually have it in your mac and cheese. We're doing bow ties, so it's just going to be very elegant, okay? If you want to add, oh geez, I mean, barbecue goes well with it. Truffles go great with it. Oh, I forgot. We're going to do it with broccoli. Yes. So we're gonna do short ribs, broccoli, mac and cheese, and that's our veggie, our starch, and our protein. So dinner should be excellent. All right, and again, you see what I'm talking about here? Smooth, smooth, smooth. That's what we want. Temperature is at medium low. So you don't want your temperature to be too high because we're not trying to cook this fast, but at the same time, it is a starch, all right? And we want to get this to a boiling point because we need to burn out all that starch. But don't be too aggressive with it, okay? Because now we're gonna start kicking up the heat a little bit. We're gonna keep it moving. And once it gets to that boiling point, we're going to turn off the fire, and then we're just gonna add the cheese. And at that point, that will complete our mac and cheese from our cheese sauce that started with our roux, okay? This here is just one of those things that is just, it's almost therapeutic to me to make it, because just to see it all come together with a little bit of patience and using the proper technique, you can do anything, you know? So like I said, mac and cheese is the biggest, to me, is king, queen, queen, king, no pun, or whichever one comes first, it doesn't matter, of the meal. And that's why everyone feels that they have the best mac and cheese in the world. And that's great. That's the way you should feel. However, I ain't saying jack. I come from a big history of mac and cheese, and a lot of people have. And unfortunately, I've tried a lot of people's mac and cheese, and I haven't been very impressed. Every so often, there'll be one or two, like my mom, my sister. Ooh, it's raining lovely. And, but a lot of folks just don't know. They think just take the noodles and throw some cheese in. You have these big chunks of cheese in there, and I don't like that. I like it to be nice and smooth and creamy, okay? Now, here's another helpful tip. This is going to be for a wet mac and cheese. Now, if you wanted to make this a baked mac and cheese, all you would do is just add a little bit more flour, maybe about 10 more grams, and an egg, all right? And then you mix that with your noodles, and then add a little bit of mozzarella. This is a tip, all right, to get that nice, cheesy, creamy, you know, that nice, creamy, cheesy, stringy pull apart, right? That's something that I like a whole lot, okay? So this is just about done, all right? The temperature, I turned it up almost to a little bit to medium, and we're starting to get those bubbles, which is going to burn out all that flour. And then this is just about ready for some cheese. And we're gonna turn off the fire. And again, you know, this is Chef Steph on fire. And I thank you folks for all your comments and all your words of encouragement. I really, really and truly appreciate it. I love that I can share my passion with you, because this is like real life passion. I love doing this. And I think you folks can tell. So I don't take this lightly, all right? Okay, so just the finishing step before we go. Just that nice, smooth, creamy, smooth and creamy. Now this is going to get thicker, okay? Now, if it's too thick, that's okay. You can do wild things. You can add a little bit more milk. You can add a little bit of white wine. You can do so many different things. You can add apple juice, a little orange juice. You can add different things to give a different flavor profile, and that's the key to me. Make it your own, okay? So now just dropping in this cheese in here. Remember, the fire is off. We're just gonna add about half the cheese. And because it's already at the boiling point nearly, we're just gonna stir this all in. And this is all gonna melt just like butter, all in here, nice and smooth and creamy. All right, so you folks stay tuned. I will definitely post some pictures on the finished product, which will have the short rib and the broccoli. And I think I'm gonna make a little balsamic truffle sauce, something of that nature. That's what I like to do. It's one of my favorite ways to make mac and cheese. So I'm gonna do that. And again, thank you again. This is Chef Steph on fire. Just wanted to show you this creamy texture, smooth all the way around. Yum. I would be so wrong not to show you guys these short ribs. Whoop. Let me get one more hot pad. It's hot, hot. Oh, yo, yo. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Whoop. Fall off the bone. That bone don't want no meat. So what I have in here is basically a beef broth, red wine, carrots, onion, a couple garlic cloves, and I pan-seared the short ribs on all 4 sides before putting it in the oven at 250 for about 5 hours. Where that bone at? I think that bone is right here. Up. There it is. Talk about fall off the bone. This is get off the bone. Oof. Let's try another one. Oh my gosh. It's like falling apart. Absolutely delicate. Big piece of fat. I don't want that, but I definitely want that bone though. There are 2 bones in here. I hope the neighbor's dog will like these bad boys. But there you go, short ribs off the bone. Again, patience, 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 patience. And it's just really one swipe and it's coming off the bone. All right, guys, so I'm gonna put this together. Thank you for watching, and I hope you folks are taking these tips and you're doing something incredible in your own kitchen. One love.